What is up, guys? It is your boy Roman, your favorite neighborhood Russian, and in today's video, guys, something very important came to my attention involving my new adoptive country. If you guys have missed it, I recently have moved to the European Union as a Russian citizen, and my country of choice ended up being Portugal. And well, guys, recently I became aware of the fact that apparently Portugal, the country located on the western edge of Europe, is actually Eastern European. Or maybe even Balkan. And this is not something that I came up with because there's an entire subreddit called r/Portugal suka blять. And all they do in the subreddit is point out the reasons why Portugal actually belongs to Eastern Europe and not Western Europe. And being an Eastern European who's just moved to Portugal in search of that Western European life, I have to investigate it. So here we have the very first post, the year of the opening of the first McDonald's outlet, and as we can see, supposedly the first McDonald's in Portugal opened only in 1991, whereas even Russia had the first McDonald's open in 1990. Even before the Soviet Union fell. Yes, that is correct. In 1990, McDonald's actually opened in Moscow, Soviet Union, under Gorbachev, not Moscow, Russia. So we can see here Spain was in the 80s, Turkey was in the 80s. Yes, that is actually true. I just checked the 23rd of May of 1991 in Cascais was the first McDonald's ever opened in Portugal. European countries rated as more progressive than the USA, but a social progress index. So it basically shows here the entirety of Central and Eastern Europe is all with the lowest social progressive index, whereas Western Europe all very progressive except for Portugal, which is on Team MAGA, apparently, because they're red in this picture. Essentially, the entire thing that this subreddit does is find stats related to Europe and show how Portugal never fits in with the rest of the Western Europe. And obviously, guys, I gotta be honest, I don't know history of Portugal for shit yet. But I do know that for the most of 20th century until 1974, they've been under that Estado Novo regime. Under Antonio Salazar, Portugal was very much isolated from the rest of Western Europe at that time. It was sort of on that traditional conservative way, you know what I'm saying? Kind of a lot like modern Russia in a sense. Portugal also wanted to be part of a different culture, not of the Western European degeneracy at the time, supposedly. So basically, yes, Portugal was in a kind of a Soviet Union itself. There is a reason why Portugal today is sort of sometimes lagging behind other Western European countries. But in this video, we're gonna ignore all those boring explanations because we know that the real reason why Portugal is like this is because it truly belongs in Eastern Europe. Among Us versus CSGO in Europe. So we can clearly see here that CSGO is the most popular game in all of Eastern Europe, Scandinavia, Turkey, Germany also. Of course, it's all just Turks and Russians playing. In Germany, we all know what's going on here. Then we have Western Europe playing Among Us, sus. And only glorious Portugal right here knows what real manly man games are. So that is exactly why they prefer CSGO, shoot boom game, as opposed to a baby space game. Exactly why I moved here, you guys. Here's a picture of a store here in Portugal, Gastronome Slavic. Funnily enough, Portugal actually does have a huge Eastern European immigrant community of Russians, Ukrainians, Moldovans, etc. But just the fact that the Portuguese flag is in the middle of Russia, Poland, Ukraine, you know, Bulgaria, everything, Georgia, it is pretty funny. Like, yes, Portugal definitely was in the Soviet Union. I think that is just the truth of history that the powers that be are hiding from us. Here we have, oh boy. I'm not going to defend this one, guys. I'm not going to defend this one. Do you believe trans women are women and should have the same rights as them? I mean, 2% in Russia. Come on, guys. Come on. But yeah, we can see definitely that Portugal has a stark contrast to Spain, even though they're bordering countries. Once again, clearly kind of, you know, the promotion of traditional values and everything in Portugal, it's probably had its effects, right? But yes, guys, this is the only case in which I'm gonna say being Eastern European is not really awesome. Here's another one, Coca-Cola versus countries, market capitalization versus GDP. Really? Finland is doing that bad? I mean, honestly, most of it here is just either related to the country being poor or small. But yes, of course, the entirety of Eastern Europe is here, including Finland for some reason, and of course, Portugal. Do you wash your hands automatically with soap and water after going to the toilet? Percentages of yes, so no data for Belarus, they don't have soap there yet. Wait, what are they saying here? So, Russia is 63, not a great look, but ex-Yugoslavia is like giving pretty good results. Bosnia got the cleanest people in the fucking world. And Portugal is cleaner than Spain. So, I guess us, you know, Russians... Okay, in this one, Russia's excluded. Serbs, Bosnians, Croatians, Ukrainians, Poles, and Portuguese. All of us Eastern Europeans, we have just way better, you know, personal hygiene than you Western Europeans living in your, you know, degeneracy and wokeness over there. Not even washing hands anymore. Good job, Portugal. Good job. And here we have a map, a newly proposed plan to relocate Portugal to Eastern Europe. So this is actually a can you spot it type of game, because if you show this picture to an American, they're not even gonna understand if anything's changed, but it took me some time too. But yes, they've stuck Portugal right here next to Crimea, right next on the border with Russia. And actually, what they did here is that they landlocked Georgia. So Georgia no longer has the access to the Black Sea, which is tragic. RIP the coastal town of Batumi. But supposedly Lisbon has replaced Batumi now in being the hottest place on the Black Sea. So, I mean, honestly guys, this right here is my worst nightmare, because I specifically moved to Portugal to be as far away from Russia as possible, and now we are bordering Russia once again. And we are right next to this hot zone right here where, I mean, I don't know, dude. If I was Portuguese right now in this situation, I'd be scared shitless of the upcoming denazification or whatever. Here we have another map. Now this one I do like more, honestly. Sticking Portugal here in front of Greece and kind of merging them together, that does look better. And Georgia is not getting landlocked because, you know, Georgia deserves to have their Black Sea. This is not too bad at all. And Italy's nearby, it's pretty cool. Okay, the next one here we have is costs of rent in an apartment compared to the local average salary or income. And we can see here that, you know, Eastern Europe is doing great, especially Ukraine and Russia. 93% in Ukraine. What the fuck is going on? 33% rents in Germany. I don't know if I believe that. I really don't. But at the end of the day, guys, still, if we take a look, here we have Portugal with 84%. Because, well, Portugal is a country that has suffered major property and rent inflation because essentially a ton of rich British people and Americans moved to Portugal and bought out everything. And now they're renting it out as like Airbnbs and apartments or whatever, as far as I understand. And of course, people as myself, digital nomads, you know, we are terrible people who are also coming here and fucking ruining the rents or whatever. I hate myself, guys, yes, and I'm very, very sorry. But yes, Portuguese people definitely know what it's like to be an Eastern European who spends 80% of his fucking salary on rent. This is why I hate myself. Precisely. Countries using kurva in their languages. Chat, is this real? I need somebody to explain this one to me, because the only one I know is caralho, but that's it. Then we have this one right here, which is rather sad, I guess, but yes, it does show, once again, how Portugal is Eastern Europe. So, in blue we see the countries whose population has increased since the year 2000s, and in red we have countries whose population has decreased since 2000. So essentially people are leaving. Obviously we have all of, you know, the post-Soviet Union here, Russia, Ukraine, Belarus, the Baltics, ex-Yugoslavia is here as well, except for Slovenia as far as I understand. Slovenia is basically like, they're basically Germans that are pretending to be Slavs. It's the same as the Czech Republic. In Western Europe, Turkey, populations increased, but in Portugal, clearly, apparently people are leaving. So, because once again, there's a lot of things that Portuguese people want that are just unavailable to them. There's higher salaries and possibly more opportunities in, you know, countries of Western Europe. That's exactly what I wanted to just say, because yes, Portugal is Eastern Europe, so, yes, unfortunately, it's very sad, but, maybe this will turn blue now because of me, huh? Oh boy. Oh boy, these ones right here, they're just not pointing me to portraying Portugal in a good light, right? Would you let your son or daughter marry a black person? And we have a lot of green in Western Europe. Italy is going crazy. No data for Yugoslavia at all because they knew that, you know, the results are just gonna be way too racist, so they decided to just not even ask here. And then we have, you know, pretty low approval overall here in Eastern Europe. Turkey is 83%, yes, no fucking way. There's no way. How is Turkey the least racist country overall? I love Turkey, don't get me wrong, but like, this is incredible. And of course, yes, only 30% in Portugal. Which is, once again, I find this very strange because I don't know if this is a dumb thing to say, but when I came here to Portugal, I noticed that there's a lot of black people here. Way more than I've ever seen in Russia or Georgia, the places that I lived in before. So, I don't know, this doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but let's forget about that and move to a more funnier one. The most popular game consoles. So, blue is PlayStation, red is Nintendo Switch, and green is Xbox. So, First of all, why would Xbox be the most popular console in anywhere? I mean, don't get me wrong, the 360 was nice. I had the 360 myself, but other than that, Xbox fell off, right? Eastern Europeans, honestly, we are obsessed with PlayStation. We love it. I can speak for Russia. In Russia, definitely PlayStation is the people's choice when it comes to gaming consoles. Russians have had a sort of a bond with Sony and PlayStation for a long time. PS1 was pretty popular in Russia, actually, so we Russians, we appreciate PlayStation. But all you Western Europeans here, you like the Nintendo Switch way too much. We get it. You guys are all very progressive there. Your wife's boyfriends are gifting you all these Nintendo Switches for your vasectomies. So this is the reason why Nintendo, a console for children, of course. Because in Russia, I don't know, is it just me or do I feel like Eastern Europeans think that like if you have a Nintendo console, you're gay? Or like you're a child, you know what I mean? We definitely have that in Russia, kind of. Like if you're a Nintendo fan, you're kind of considered a soy boy. But clearly I feel like Portugal is with the shits as well, because PlayStation is way more popular than the Nintendo Switch. Because once again, Portuguese people, they're Eastern European hardcore Slavs. So they're not with the soy Nintendo stuff. They don't like Mario or, platformer kids games. They like shooty pew pew boom boom gun games like CSGO. So this one makes me very proud to live in Portugal. Come on. So this one is regarding International Women's Day being a holiday, and supposedly International Women's Day is not a holiday in Portugal. That actually doesn't make any sense. This is not Eastern European at all. In fact, if Portugal was in the Soviet Union, like I implied it was, this definitely would be a fucking holiday for sure, because socialists love their holidays. So yeah, Portugal, sucks to suck. It's not my fault that you guys decided to go with Salazar instead of joining the Soviet Union like every other normal Eastern European country did. And obviously also they're talking about how Portuguese sounds like Russian in this, which is, I actually want to make a whole separate video about this later, but yes, unironically guys, this is actually true. This is fucking true. And I wanted to be like the person to say, no, it's not real, but honestly guys, there's been so many situations already where I've overheard somebody speaking Portuguese and I thought that they're speaking Russian, and I even mistook some words in Portuguese just for words that sound Russian. Sometimes I'm in like a taxi and I'm listening to a song on the radio and it's a Portuguese song and I'm hearing this and I'm like, why does this sound Slavic as fuck? You know what I'm saying? So yes, it is absolutely true. So once again, that is another thing to add to Portugal being an honorary Soviet country. Which payment method is more popular, cash or card? So we can see, yes, Germany is definitely fucking cash. I can sell that because when I was in Germany, paying with a card was a fucking pain in the ass. But yeah, most of like Eastern Europe and a bunch of Western Europe too, but mostly, weird countries like Germany and Italy. You guys are weird. I don't know what's the problem with cars for you guys over there, but see, Spain, France, all the rest, they like cars, but Portugal is cash. So I think honestly the way I would rename this map here is which countries like paying taxes and which don't. So all of these are clearly countries in which people do not like to pay taxes. And Portugal, yes, is definitely one of them. I can definitely tell from, seeing a lot of the business here that they don't like, not everybody likes paying taxes here, but I do have to say that Portugal has great infrastructure as far as paying with cards, and I've actually never had a single issue here where I couldn't pay for something with like Apple Pay. So yes, they may prefer cash like us Eastern Europeans, but they still take it everywhere, just like us Eastern Europeans too, because in Russia, Ukraine, everywhere, paying with a card is also very, very easy and nice. Here we have another one saying how much gasoline can you buy with an average salary, and once again, I don't know how truthful these are, but yes, compared to Spain and France, Portugal is looking pretty bad, and once again, pretty comparable to Eastern Europe, of course, except Russia, because Russia has like all the gasoline of the fucking world, so and yet they're still struggling to make a fucking functioning country, which is amazing. Oh my god, there's no fucking way. So this one is the percentages of iPhone users. So essentially, yes, showing how broke somebody is. The least iPhone using country is Poland, which is amazing. And Portugal is pretty Android heavy too. So yes, that is also very close to us Eastern Europeans. Probably has to do with the economic factors as well. I mean, I think you guys pretty much understand what this is all about. Once again, Portugal, as far as I understand, was a country whose growth and cooperation with the rest of Europe was sort of stopped and frozen by this regime that existed in Portugal. The consequences of that regime and its policies, they still exist today, just like obviously you see in the countries of Eastern Europe today who actually, well, sort of got freed and liberated way later than Portugal, like 20 years later. These countries are having issues with many things, and Portugal also has a lot of things to catch up to compared to their, other Western European neighbors. But honestly, once again, guys, I've been here only for like 1 month and I've been enjoying it, I'm loving it, and I really want to study Portugal more, but as a new Eastern European immigrant here, what can I say? I'm definitely very, it gives me a certain feeling of being accepted and a certain feeling of warmth inside, knowing that my new adoptive country, my new country of residence, Portugal, is an honorary Eastern European state. So, it really makes me feel like I will not be out of place here. I guess that's going to be pretty much it for today's video though. I wanted to talk about this Portugal is Eastern Europe thing, Portugal is Balkan thing for a while now. And now obviously since I'm a Russian who's just moved to Portugal, I have to, it's the most logical thing. But yeah guys, I hope you did enjoy today's video. I will continue to study the country of Portugal, and hopefully a few years down the line I will definitely come out with a video saying how truly Eastern European Portugal really is. But quite honestly guys, once again, from having been here and living here for a month, it does not feel like Eastern Europe in the slightest. It is absolutely beautiful, absolutely stunning. I love the people here, they're very nice. And overall, it's just a chill vibe, it's fucking beautiful, and please don't kick me out guys, basically. That is my message, okay? My final message, goodbye. But yeah guys, if you did enjoy today's video though, please make sure to slap the like on it. And as always guys, if you would like to support me additionally, if you'd like to support what I do, then make sure to go over to the link down in the description and become a YouTube member. It's basically like YouTube's own version of Patreon, it's a monthly donation, it's the best way to support me. Or you guys can also do a super thanks underneath this video for a one-time donation. Muito obrigado, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.